Yo, what's going on everyone, it's Cummina here and I'm bringing you another video from the division, and in today's video I'm bringing you my all gold high end build. So continue watching the video to find out how to make this build. So first off, we'll start with the build by looking at the stats across the top. So you can see here my firearms is at 5019, my toughness is at 426,850 toughness, and I have 108,000 skill power. So if we look at the guns first that I'm using with this build, now I am using the lightweight M4. It has 23% enemy armor damage, base damage at 20k, and my talents on there are brutal, deadly and responsive. Also as well, I do use the Model 700, but I do filter between the MP5 and the MP7. The only reason I'm just using this, I'm just testing out the gun in terms of its sniper class, and I actually quite like what's on there. It's 171% headshot damage. It does have a slow base damage at 124k, but it does come with brutal, prepared and elevated there as its talents. Next up on my build here, I have the Pharaoh's Oxygen Mask. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, the Pharaoh's Oxygen Mask allows the user to run and shoot their weapon while burning. Now, this is very helpful in terms of the Dark Zone, the moments where you do see a lot of people using their fire turrets. Now, the Pharaoh's Oxygen Mask you can get from running Napalm production. However, I did both get mine from caches, one from the survival cache and one from a field proficiency cache. Now, this Pharaoh's Mask, it does come with 852 armor, and it did have its major attribute on here as health. Now it is roll on here enemy armor damage at 8.5%, with 9% being the highest that you can get. Again, the mod that I am using on here is 250 firearms and 261 armor, just to try and get that toughness up. Okay, so next up on the list we have the championship knee pads. Now the championship knee pads you can get from running the Maddison Square Gardens, or you can get them from a field proficiency catch like I did. Now these I had to roll onto stamina at 1240 because they were roll electronics. Their major attributes come with 7% critical hit damage, 48% kill XP, 11% enemy armor damage, 28% burn resistance, and I did fit these with two firearms mods, one firearms mod with armor on there, as you can see, and then as well first aid ally heal as the prototype performance mod. Now the prototype performance mod that I have added on to all the available slots is first aid ally heal, and this is just to help in terms of the booster shot that you would want to use with this build. Now these championship pads, basically the fuse time on grenades is reduced to 0.2 seconds, so they do go off a lot quicker, and they are very helpful in terms of the Dark Zone. So if I just show you quickly the grenade there, how fast that goes off, and then if we just change the knee pads out, you'll see the difference in terms of the grenades of how quickly they go off. So they do go off a lot faster, and it does help in terms of when you're in the Dark Zone and you're fighting enemies, so a great addition to this build. Up on the build we have a specialized backpack. Now the specialized backpack adds 200% of your firearms and stamina, and in turn moves that over to stamina. So I have on here 1262 in stamina, 959 in armor, and then 51% ammo capacity. I then got a firearms on here. It is a low firearms at 238, but it does give me 28 armor. Then the two mods that I have on here, one at 6% first aid ally heal, and then another one there at 5.5% first aid ally heal, and as I said, these do help in terms of the booster shot that you want to use on the build. Next up on the build we have the Skulls MC gloves. Now you can get these from any named bosses around the open world, and that's where I have managed to pick up my two sets, as you can see there. Now the skull gloves increase damage by 16% when the no gear set bonus is at active. So basically what that means is you can use, for instance, two Hunter's Faith because it is going to give you that set bonus. You could use one if you'd like. if you haven't got any of the other items, but adding that 16% extra damage in terms of the weapons is great. Now it is a little bit low on the firearms at 1182. I'd like that at a minimum of 1200, but on here I wanted to roll assault rifle damage, so I've got 863 in SMG damage, 1326 in assault rifle damage, 17% critical hit damage. And last up on the build here, I use a nimble holster. Now the reason I use a nimble holster is because it heals 2% of the max health for every 1 meter that you run in cover to cover during combat. Get into those situations, you know, PvE or PvP, you can run cover to cover and regenerate your health if you're waiting on cooldowns from your booster shot, or you've got no med kits available, so it does come in handy. And as you can see here, the holster that I've got is not too bad. 1213 in firearms, 1261 in stamina, 1254 in electronics. I have rolled on here is his major attribute armor, because armor is what the current matter is in terms of 1.5, and it's all about getting armor on your build. Now on this, again, 5.5% first aid self-heal in terms of the prototype mods, again just to help with that booster shot. If we now go over and look at the skills and the talents that I use on this build, so I do use just a Scrambler Pulse. That's just to help in terms of my team and protecting us from hostile pulses. But again, you can mix this up if for anything that you would wish. You know, Flashbang is not a bad one that you do see a lot of people using, or Weather Turret is your thing. But I do use a booster shot on here in terms of increasing the damage and the damage resistance. And this affects targets in addition to the normal healing effects. So it is a great one to use, and obviously the higher that you want to get your skill power in terms of this build, then the more benefit that you are going to get from the booster shot. Alternatively, if the booster shot is not for you, then I would definitely recommend using the overdose in terms of helping you in your heal. If we go over and look at the talents now that I use Adrenaline here, so using a med kit when not at full health to receive an overheal. I use critical save, which using a medkit during low health to increase the damage resistance by 40% for 10 seconds, so that can help a lot. And then I've got combat medic, so using a medkit near allies to heal the group members and proxies within 20 meters by 40%, so that comes in handy, and it's always great to make sure that your team are using combat medic, so you're all getting the benefit of that heal when anyone in the team is using. Well, now we've got on the move, so killing a hostile while moving reduces incoming damage by 30% for 10 seconds. So with on the move and critical save, you're getting an extra 70% in terms of reduced incoming damage, which does come in handy. I'll just show you in terms of the character here. So he's got headshot damage in terms of the mods that I use, and critical hit damage in terms of the weapons. Also as well, you do get the 16% from the skull gloves as terms of extra damage. Now just looking at the health here, my maximum health is at 218k max health, and then my armor is at 48.87%. Now you'd think that that would look low, and you'd really want a minimum of 50%. However, playing with this build, it does really help in terms of the talents that you use in the team, the booster shot, and also as well that nimble holster, so you can run cover to cover in terms of getting your health back up. Now, I do hope that you enjoyed this video in terms of my high-end build. If you do have any questions or comments or anything that you would change, then leave them in the comments below. Now, if you did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, then give it a thumbs down. And now I'll just show you this build in action in terms of the PvP in the Dark Zone for your enjoyment. Thanks for watching, agents. Take care.